The Walking Dead was once the must-watch show of the year for drama fans, but it has since fallen in terms of worldwide popularity. The mass hysteria for the show was well-deserved for quite some time, until quality was outshone by quantity in the middle stages of the original show. And now that philosophy is what is going to be driving AMC and The Walking Dead into the future. And that's why, in today's video, we're going to be dissecting The Walking Dead. We're going to look at its timeline, how the show has evolved, where and how the new spin-offs fit in, and how we got to where we are. So stick around, because any real fan of TWD is gonna want to see this entire video. So where did the entire thing begin? The Walking Dead was kicked off as a comic series back in 2003 and evolved into a TV show only 7 years after that. The comics amassed a huge following, and the plot was easily manipulated to become a great TV show. And while they share many similarities, they are actually quite different from each other.
But it's important that you're all here to see, to remember.
No, no! Hey. It's okay.
With only major events occurring in both, but the outcomes and the paths leading to those events are massively different from the comics to the show. But one thing that remains consistent between the two is the messy timeline. It's sometimes hard to keep track of how long the survivors have been struggling in this haunting universe for, and that's why we want to go over it. And trust me, you are going to be surprised at just how complicated this is going to get. In the show, we are immediately introduced to Rick Grimes, a former sheriff who has been shot in the line of duty prior to the zombie outbreak, placing him in a coma. Hilariously, the timeline is immediately ambiguous, as we have no idea how long Rick is in a coma until later in the episode, when Morgan explains when the water ran out and when other basic services shut down. The first season is only 6 episodes long, and due to the short amount of time in the season, not much in the showtime passes either, with roughly 64 days being glanced over, including Rick's time in a coma. Season 2 is much longer, and in turn, the hunt for Sophia and the time gallivanting at Herschel's farm is much more in showtime, taking up roughly 24 days, putting us at 88 days. I say there are more days in this season because we only see 6 days worth of Rick and the gang actually in the apocalypse, whereas in season 2, all 24 days are taking place during the apocalypse.
Truth is, if this works out, when we get out of here, you don't deserve a brand new life. Damn sure don't deserve to be a father.
We know that this is roughly the case because of Rick's opening monologue to Morgan as he recaps the events of the CDC, saying that they happened 2 days ago. Later in the second season, Daryl says that they have been looking for Sophia for a few weeks, meaning that this entire season is just about a month. The season 3 timeline is a bit easier to accurately pinpoint due to Lori being pregnant at the end of season 1, because regardless of the state of the world, pregnancies still take 9 months. So when season 3 opens and Lori is about to burst, we can calculate that it has been roughly 6 months since they left the prison. Early into season 3, Lori delivers Judith, and we can then start to use Judith as a measuring tool for time. And she does not wait too long to be a measuring tool, as she gives us a big hint as to how much time has passed in between season 3 and season 4. When season 3 ends, Judith is only about a month old, but when season 4 opens, she is roughly 6 months old, meaning that there is about 6 months of in-world time separating seasons 3 and 4. I mean, the prison is also way more secure in the opening of season 4, which also indicates this time passing. Season 4 is the first time we got an exact day counted for us, as the episode titled Infected is day 500 in the apocalypse, because AMC told us that was the case. Funny, right? 500 days is roughly a year and a half, which means that so many things happened in a short period of time.
You take Pammy out with this thing, hell is gonna rain down on you. And you ain't gonna come back. And you have to come back.
Civilization fell, groups formed, wars were fought, people lived, people died. It's crazy that so little time passed in this insane period of the show. Season 4 and Season 5 have no time jump in between them, as Season 4 ends on that terminus cliffhanger, and Season 5 opens with Carol saving the day. This entire season is so much walking that if you wanted to go on Google Maps and calculate roughly how long all of this walking would have taken, you can likely get an exact number of how many days this season took.
They're pinning us in!
But with all the walking, looking for Beth, looking for the scattered members of the group, and walking to Alexandria, we can assume that this season is about 2 months of in-world time, putting the show at the 1 year and 7 month mark. After this season, things get pretty dicey in terms of time.
General Mercer.
Pamela Milton, you're under arrest for high crimes against the people of this Commonwealth. Cuff her.
Season 6 takes place right after Season 5, and the same is true for Season 6 turning into Season 7. So, these seasons are about 3 consecutive months, barely putting them at the year 2 mark of the apocalypse come Season 8. But Season 9 is when things take a huge turn. The war between Negan and Rick's gangs takes about 10 days, but the aftermath is so hefty that the show jumps about 18 months.
If you and Annie want to stay, you have earned your place. But if I can't look at you some days, if I can't work with you, and if I can't move on.
Shortly after that, Rick dies, and then the show jumps an insane 6 years, putting them at the 10th year of the apocalypse. The final 2 seasons wrap up the main story, which takes roughly 3 years, marking the end of the show in the 13th year of the apocalypse. So, where do the spin-offs take place? The new spin-offs include Dead City, which will see Negan and Maggie take on an overrun New York City. AMC has confirmed that this show takes place about 12 months following The Walking Dead, meaning that this is in the 14th year of the outbreak. The next spin-off to release is called The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Now this one is a bit murky.
Heard you wanted to talk?
Yeah. I want to talk about the future. There's a lot out there to find out about, and I think it's time we did.
As all we know right now is that Daryl will be in France for this show. So how long does it take him to get to France? That is obviously going to affect where the show fits into the timeline.
This is gonna be good for you, for me.
Proud of you. No, I am. You took Hornsby's job and you made it your own.
Our assumption is that he will spend some time touring America on his bike until he finds a way and a reason to go across the pond. The last anticipated Walking Dead spin-off will be called Rick and Michonne, and will obviously revolve around these 2 characters.
Red handle. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you.
Put your guns on the floor and kneel.
This show isn't coming out for over a year, so we have very few details as of this recording. But we do know that this will take place after the events of The Walking Dead, with some flashbacks to fill in where these 2 were immediately following their time on the original show. And that's all we know for now, which brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Were you surprised to see the timeline stretched out so thin? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss an upload. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and we will see you in the next video.